What's up, Facebook? What's up, Instagram? What's up, YouTube? Tommy Nation Politics. How y'all doing today? Good?
Hey guys, this is Tommy Nation Politics. How's everyone doing today?
And the Partisans just go along with it.
Good. Today, we have a special theme. We're doing Whataboutism.
Whataboutism, the technique or practice of responding to an accusation or difficult question by making a counteraccusation or raising a different issue. The parliamentary hearing appeared to be an exercise of whataboutism, powered by Oxford Dictionaries. Whataboutism, also known as whataboutery. It's a logical fallacy that attempts to discredit an opponent's position by charging them with hypocrisy, without directly refuting or disproving their argument. It is a propaganda technique. It is a logical fallacy. Its active period was Cold War to present. Prominent usage: Soviet Union propaganda, Russian propaganda, politics of Northern Ireland, Russian annexation of Crimea, Russian military intervention.
Beliefs, their friends and family, or themselves. The natural response to accusations is shame if you think they might be true, or anger if you think they're. Propagandists take advantage of this by using the tactic called whataboutism. Whataboutism is about changing the subject by manipulating emotion.
What about Barack Obama? What about Bernie Sanders?
What about the alt-left that came charging at the, as you say, the alt-right? Do they have any semblance of guilt? What about the fact they came charging with clubs in their hands, swinging clubs? Do they have any problem?
Propagandists often point out hypocrisy and deflect criticism of Russia. When someone criticizes Russia for X, there is an immediate response. What about Y? The invasion of Crimea? What about Iraq? Repression of Crimean Tatars? What about Western colonialism and imperialist brutality in Russia? What about police brutality in the United States? Vladimir Putin's corruption? What about corruption among Western politicians?
In an effort to shut down discussion of U.S. misdeeds or crimes throughout history, or about the policies of President Obama or Hillary Clinton when she was Secretary of State, and the Democrats writ large. Whataboutism is being portrayed as an old Soviet tactic, and anyone caught using it is a suspected Bolshevik agent in today's around this concept known as whataboutism. I'm not talking about the terrible, idiotic manner that Trump justifies neo-Nazis, mass shooting. So that's not what I want to actually talk about today. What I want to talk about is something different. It's how this allegation of whataboutism is used consistently these days by opponents of, we're not like Russia and Chechnya. Well, yes, we invade countries and innocent people are killed, but what about the crimes of the leaders of those countries? Remember when George W. Bush's WMD argument fell apart?
The main reason we went into Iraq at the time was we thought he had weapons of mass destruction. It turns out he didn't, but he had the capacity to make weapons of mass destruction. But I also talked about the human suffering in Iraq, and I also talked the need to advance a freedom agenda. And so my answer to your question is that imagine a world in which Saddam Hussein was there, stirring up even more trouble.
He then shifted to, well, Saddam was a tyrant, so it was good we overthrew him. Same with Gaddafi in Libya. And on and on and on.
Whataboutism is a logical fallacy. It attempts to discredit an opponent's position by bringing up yet another irrelevant concept to the argument. What about this? What about that? What about you? What about me? What about love? What's love got to do with it? What's love? It's fucking no irrelevant. This counter-accusation involves irrelevant information that does not disprove the argument, but raises another issue. It only raises another issue. What about another issue that we don't have for? We will find out. We'll find out after this. Now, usually, to discredit an opponent's position, they'll use this rhetorical device, correct? Well, the whole reason that most of the time they're doing these things is because they know that your argument rings true. It's logical, it's truthful, it's honest, and also it cannot be refuted, correct? Correct.
But here's the thing, Larry, even those who support the escalation have acknowledged that 20,000, 30,000, even 40,000 more troops placed temporarily in places like Baghdad are not going to make a long-term difference.
In order to win in this political game, the first thing you must do is raise another issue. Okay, well now we're not even talking about the issue that you won on already. So, misdeeds, correct. Logic, correct. True, untrue, true. So what about Trump? What about Obama? What about the welfare queens? Hey, what about the immigrants? What about the, I don't know. What about, man? I don't know. Because I thought we were talking about chicken. Chicken tastes great. Well, what about shrimp? What about peanuts? What about baby fetuses? Wait, hold on.
What's saying what about is actually an old Soviet propaganda tool. And the reason it is dangerous is because it implies that all actions, regardless of context, share a moral equivalency. And since nobody is perfect, all criticism is hypocritical and everybody should do whatever they want.
Now, I've come to realize that partisans, they like to do this all the time because they know that these political parties are nothing but trash, garbage. They smell bad, they look bad, and stupid too. They do stupid things. They never serve the will of the American people. They're always doing it for the banks, doing it for Wall Street, doing it for the military-industrial complex, and then they call it doing it for the flag. No, it's not for the flag. It's for Raytheon. It's for Boeing. It's for Comcast. Just say it, guys. Come on, just say it. Well, what about the American people, though? Can I raise that issue, though? What about the American people, though? Oh, what about the banks? What about the military-industrial complex? Whatever. What about it? Now, 40% of all of the morons in this country are partisans. So, there's really nothing you do about these people. They usually follow whataboutism on with other things like fear-mongering, which is dramatizing events to fit a narrative in order to make you afraid. Okay? Then they go on to projecting things. Projecting things is like a defense mechanism. Like, you've insulted their party, and that's part of who they are as a person because they have no thoughts, so they can't form like a human, emotion. They only have the emotions of the New York Times and Fox News or whatever you have it. So whatever they're watching, that they grew up watching, that they've eaten for a million years in their lives, and they're so afraid to challenge that narrative, whatever that is, you fucking insulted it, okay? You insulted the id, as Freud would call it. Okay, so then they have to do a defense mechanism called, fear-mongering, so they don't have to feel guilty about the fact that their party sucks, okay? So then they go on to fear-mongering, making you afraid, so you're so afraid that you don't mind if this party sucks too. That party might not suck as much. I don't know, it gets really cloudy, because there's no logic in anything that they do. Okay, so then they go on to dramatization. Which is kind of just like making things exciting, Like, Trump, he can't find his tax returns, and so that means he's like a fucking Russian asset. And he worked with Putin, and every day he eats lunch with fucking Hitler. Hitler's still alive. Oh my God. Oh, dramatization. So now, my friends, the propaganda, political devices they use for dumbass people. Now you don't have to be dumb. You don't have to be dumb like those partisans. Y'all can see what they're doing, identify it, and ignore it. Tommy Nation Politics.
Hey guys, this is Tommy with Tommy Nation Politics. How How's everyone doing today?
We started out kids, we did not know one thing. Then this crazy world, it came down crashing.